Joe, Joe is very excited. We've been doing British accents all morning. We'll explain why at the end. I really hope we get to this. All right, let's get to this first. What is Pegasus? This will be the biggest story. I'm guessing by the end of the day. If you haven't seen this, you have to. There's a story in The Guardian called Revealed. A leak uncovers the global abuse of a cyber surveillance weapon. It's a spyware system, folks, that's been sold to authoritarian regimes. It's been used to target politicians, activists, and journalists, the data suggests. This is a stunning article. Now, The Guardian is a left-wing outlet. They've produced some stuff that's questionable at best. But this is a stunning act of actual journalism if this story turns out to be true. I have said to you often, this is serious time. Let's crack the book on serious time and close the book on sarcastic time. That the biggest threat to your liberty and freedom right now, the biggest threat is the big tech government symbiote. Big tech is working with government, and I've made the case, and I'll make it again. Big tech is actually more powerful than government right now because government needs big tech to crush civil liberties, but big tech doesn't need government to crush civil liberties. Think about that. Process that for a moment, please. It's really important. Big tech, Google, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube can crush your ability to speak, your ability to assemble. You want to organize a rally on Twitter, they'll shut it right down. You want to use Eventbrite, they can shut that down, organize a rally. You want to put out a religious sermon online, if it doesn't comport with LGBTQ ideology, they'll take that down too. Big tech does not need government to crush your civil liberties. Does everybody got that? The verdict is in, it is true. But government does need big tech, as evidenced by the Biden administration last week publicly saying, hey, we're going to Facebook to crush what they classify as misinformation about coronavirus. You're not even allowed to talk about coronavirus anymore. Everybody tracking out on the show? Nothing going forward will make any sense if you don't get that. The big tech government symbiote is the most dangerous threat to civil liberties out there today, period. And this proves it. If this story turns out to be accurate about Pegasus, the ramifications will be devastating. You could be surveilled right now. Some of you listening to this probably are being surveilled. It has ramifications for media blackmail. Think about it. If your phone is being spied on, all of the activity on your phone, including geolocation, everything, the descent into totalitarianism just requires one simple request from this company. Now, I will give you the company's position before we start about Pegasus. The company that makes it, NSO, is like, listen, we produce this technology, which is fine. It's free to produce the technology. They're like, we're not responsible what governments do with it. That's fine. That's fine. That's their statement. They're saying we don't, I'm just giving you their statement in advance so that no one can say we didn't give both sides. Let's get to what Pegasus is first. Here, from the piece. Please read this piece. It's in my newsletter, Bongino.com/newsletter. Read it front to back, side to side. Bongino.com/newsletter. The piece, it's in there, right there. The Guardian, what is Pegasus? Pegasus is a malware. It infects iPhones and Android devices and enables the operators of the Pegasus tool to extract, listen to this, your messages, your photos, your emails, to record calls, and to secretly activate microphones. In other words, in live time, they can listen to your calls. An extraction tool? Ladies and gentlemen, what the hell are they extracting? You may say, oh, okay, we always assume tech companies had invented technology like this. I mean, all of us, I've been warning you about the dangers of surveillance for a long time. I think if you listen to the show, everybody assumed the capabilities were there. I just wanted to put that out there first. That is what Pegasus is. It's an extraction tool. Everything we thought these tech companies were capable of, live time spying on of your phone, is in fact happening, and the technology is there. Now, going back, this is actually the opening statement of I did it in a little bit out of order because I wanted you to know what Pegasus was before we discuss it. Here's the intro to the piece. Screenshot 2 from the Guardian piece. Human rights activists, journalists, and lawyers across the world have been targeted by authoritarian governments using hacking software sold by the Israeli surveillance company NSO Group, according to an investigation into a massive data leak. The investigation by The Guardian and 16 other media organizations suggests widespread and continuing abuse of NSO's hacking spyware, Pegasus, which the company insists is only intended for use against criminals and terrorists. So, folks, you're reading this. You see who's been targeted now by Pegasus, this extraction tool. I've told you over and over, the hallmark of a free society is that there's a distinction between the private and public self. You have moments where you are doing things in private you don't feel like you're being spied on. Conversations with your friends, conversations with your coworkers. You're in your house, you're eating, you're taking a shower, you're shaving, whatever, you're watching something on TV. Oh my God, what are you watching? I don't care. It's not my business. It's yours. As long as it's not a crime, you do you. That's the distinction that makes a free society free. A private self. Everybody tracking me? A private self. If this Pegasus tool is being abused by governments around the world, you may think you have a private self, but I've got news for you. It's public. It's not private. Other people are listening. Therefore, there is no distinction. And what you think is a free society may not, in fact, be a free society. I'll make the case before. I made it before, and I'll make it again. I believe this is the single most important story today. No matter what is happening, this story needs to be everywhere. So now we've discussed what Pegasus is, an extraction tool for your phone, your computer, whatever, getting your information. We now know people have been targeted according to this leak. If this story is accurate, journalists, lawyers, listen, for as much as I can't stand the media, I'm not a civil liberties fraud like the modern American totalitarian liberal and people like the ACLU, which seems to abandon their commitment to civil liberties. I am an actual civil libertarian. Even though I can't stand journalists, not all of them, but most of them, who've entirely abandoned journalisming and are now on the side of the totalitarian anti-free speech movement, I will still defend vigorously to my last breath their ability to live private lives and do their jobs free of government surveillance. Because I'm not a fraud like the leftists out there. More on Pegasus from this piece. Please, please read the whole thing. This is a devastating piece. Goes on. Look at some of these other people here and what a forensic analysis showed here. Quote, forensic analysis of a small number of phones whose numbers appeared on the leaked list also showed more than half of these phones had traces of the Pegasus spyware. Wonder if your phone has traces of the Pegasus spyware on it. The Guardian and its media partners, they'll be revealing, this is from the piece, the identities of people whose numbers appeared on the list in the coming days. I can't wait to see that list. They include hundreds of business executives, religious figures, academics, NGO employees, union officials, and government officials, including cabinet ministers, presidents, and prime ministers. What? Wait, goes on. Hold on. Apparently, there are 50,000 numbers on this list. The list also contains the numbers of close family members of one country's ruler, suggesting the ruler may have instructed their intelligence agencies to explore the possibility of monitoring their own relatives. You know, I do my regular Monday morning appearance on Fox and Friends at 8:40 Eastern time every Monday. Do the weekend appearance too. I said this morning before we got out of the segment, I said, mark my words, guys, listen to my podcast and radio show today. By the end of today, the biggest story in the country will be Pegasus. 50,000 numbers on the list, religious leaders, government officials, presidents, prime ministers. You thought you were talking on your phone only to you? I told you the big tech government symbiote is the biggest threat to liberty in the country today. Hands down. The list goes on. The disclosures apparently are going to begin on Sunday. So that was yesterday, with the revelation that the numbers of more than 180 journalists are listed in the Pegasus data, including reporters, editors, and executives at the Financial Times, CNN, the New York Times, France 24, The Economist, AP, and Reuters. The phone number, folks, this part. Hold on, let's come back to me for a second. I should have cut this into two pieces because the next part is deeply disturbing. Just on the first part, again, not to toot our own horns here, but you should be proud. We are actual constitutionalists who believe in big R, God-given rights for everyone, even journalists. They should not be spied on. They should have private lives. They are touched by the hand of God with big R constitutional rights. In a free country, people are free, like many journalists right now, to act like losers and idiots. Many of them do that and take us up on the offer. The overwhelming majority do, sadly. That does not mean we should support a totalitarian state where people are spied on by a tool called Pegasus, alleged, by the way, according to this report. Again, NSO, the company, denies that they had anything to do with what the technology has been used for after they created it. Fair enough. That's their statement. I'm giving you both sides. But the second part of this is even more disturbing. Back to it. On this list, apparently, is the phone number of a freelance Mexican reporter, Cecilio Pineda Berto. That number was found on the list. It was apparently of interest, the number, to a Mexican client in the weeks leading up to his murder, when his killers were able to locate him at a car wash. His phone has never been found, so no forensic analysis has been possible to establish whether it was infected. That's goosebumps material right there. Again, at SO, I want to be clear, the company that makes this is saying it had nothing to do with that. We just create this technology. Government big tech symbiote. Big trouble ahead. Story gets worse. You may think you're safe using Telegram or WhatsApp or Signal. I don't believe that at all. I always believe that people are watching my stuff. People call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. As I've said on my radio show, we even have a liner for it. I'm running out of conspiracy theories because all of my conspiracy theories are coming true. So people are going to have to start, forking over more conspiracy theories so we have something to talk about on the show because they're not theoretical anymore. Most certainly not. Peace goes on. Again, you think you're safe on Telegram, WhatsApp, and Signal? Claudio Guarneri, who runs Amnesty International Security Lab, said once a phone's infected with Pegasus, a client of NSO could, in effect, that's the company, again, that produces the technology, could, in effect, take control of the phone, enabling them to extract a person's messages, calls, photos, and emails. They can also secretly activate cameras. How does that make you feel? Or microphones. Got your phone in your bedroom? They can also read the contents of encrypted messaging apps, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and Signal. Keep your phone in your bedroom? Do things in your bedroom you don't want people to see? I think we can all answer yes to that one, right? I'm not talking about sleeping. Got your phone there? Pegasus on your phone? That's a conspiracy theory, is it?